Today is November 19th, right? The 19th of November, 2013, and here we are for a big webinar. We have got a lot of people coming to this webinar. We're really excited about it, so it must be about a topic that we're all either confused or frustrated or both, which is the Google Plus beast in terms of where it is today, which is a constantly changing thing, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And so in order to do this properly, I've asked Laura Johnson, who's in charge of SEO and all things really web marketing, SEO related, link building, you name it, here at Foster Web Marketing. And we just basically do what she says here, even I do, most of the time. And Zach Stone, who works in SEO as our web analyst, big data guy, loves to read through the data and tell us stuff. We do what he says sometimes, too.
Only sometimes.
And, of course, the lovely Danielle, who's always with us, and Michael, posting social media doodads. Hey, we do social media. You guys should do it, too. And that's really what we're talking about. So this is a big piece of social media. It's a big piece of your local profile. It's a big piece of review. It's a big piece of everything. And so just sit back and listen up to Laura and Zach. And if there's any clarification, I'll try to answer or ask those questions. And, of course, at the end, if there's any questions, we'll get to them. And just put your questions in the question box in the GoToMeeting. And Mike will ask them at the end. And if we don't get to all of them, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot, we'll answer them to an email afterwards. And then one last thing is we have a survey at the end. We'd like to know from you if you could just, I know they're annoying. I hate doing them myself, but it's a short survey. We just want to know how to better give you more topics that you're interested in learning about. All right, with that, Laura, tell us all about how to tame the Google Plus beast.
And I'm going to pass it right off to Zach.
See, we do what she says.
How are you? So basically what we're going to do for you today, guys, is demystify Google Plus. It's very confusing. There's a lot of stuff going on. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to people. And Google's kind of forced its hand in the issue, and they really want to make sure that you're doing all these things the right way, but they don't necessarily give you the roadmap to get there. So we're going to explain exactly the difference between all these Google Pluses and what they do and how to claim them and how to best use them on your daily business ventures. We're going to talk about Google Plus, personal, business, and local as we go through here and kind of give you an idea of how they all are different. So just some background into Google Plus. It was launched in 2011, and it's meant to be a social network and identity service, and it's operated by Google, obviously. They have described it themselves as a social layer to the internet that enhances many of its online properties. And it's not simply a social networking website. It's something far bigger than that in their mind. And you can really think of it as a three-headed beast. There's Google Plus Personal, Google Plus Business, and Google Plus Local, along with a whole host of different other products and services that they have, including YouTube, Google Drive, Gmail. These are all they're trying to encompass all of these things into one giant Google account, and these are the pieces that make up the Google Plus puzzle, this three-headed beast, if you will.
Kind of like Microsoft Office.
Totally. Yeah, that's a great analogy.
It's Google Office.
Yeah, Word, Excel, all those different kinds of things. So I'm just going to give you a basic understanding. I apologize if that formatting's a little off. It kind of changes from one computer to another. But Google Plus Personal is a personal profile for you. It's for developing your personal brand, and it's used for authorship tags. So you can see my authorship tag there as it shows up in search results. This was a article about Google's Hummingbird algorithm. And you can really think about Google Plus Personal as a Facebook profile. Everything that you do in Facebook, you can really do in Google Plus Personal. It's meant for you and your personal branding. Google Plus Business is, again, another social platform for your business. It's meant for business brand management and social sharing to your network. And you really can think of it the same as you would a Facebook business page. So there's a little bit of a distinction there. You need to really make sure you're both branding yourself and then your business, and doing those separately and not one and the same. And then Google Plus Local is a very authoritative local listing for your business. It's the main backbone to Google Maps. We use it probably every day and don't even realize we're doing it with our GPSs, and search features within search results show local listings all the time. It can really improve your website's traffic if you have a good authoritative local listing with Google. And you can really think of it like Yelp. It's a directory listing with a lot more information, and you're going there to give business reviews, find out information, find directions, those kind of things.
I have a question, Zach.
Yes, sir.
So can you give, or maybe you're going to get into it, guys, but I'd like an example of when I would post something personal or when I would post something business.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We're going to talk about each one in their
That's one of the
entirety.
biggest questions is how do you use them the best way?
Yeah, definitely. The big picture there is your personal stuff is your personal stuff and your business stuff is your business stuff. You can share things that you do for your business on your personal page, but your business page should really be sharing what your business is doing and what that brand is. Brand consistency is very important, especially in Google's eyes. All right, so you can see a screenshot over here on the right of Mr. Robert Malove down in Fort Lauderdale. It really, Google Plus is important because it's all about brand consistency. You notice I searched for his brand with the city location. It has the first result with his website with merged local information as well as a whole infographic on the, not infographic on the side, a group of information to the right that basically tells you even more information about the business without even having to click through to anything. It's called a knowledge graph, and what it's doing is Google's trying to give better user experience and more information right off the bat in its search engines. It's not trying to have people click through as much. It wants to give people the information they're looking for right away, and that's the most important part of getting this brand consistency. And why do you want to use it? Because Google wants you to use it. It's their product, and they're going to reward you for doing so. If you're not using it and you're, oh, no, Google Plus, I don't do that. I'm not going to participate in that. Well, too bad. Google's not going to help you out. You need to scratch their back for them to scratch yours. So it really is about playing by their rules. They own 67% of the market share for search in the U.S. You really need to make sure that you are getting at least part of that pie. If you're not, you're missing out and reaching about 3/4 of the population that goes to the internet to make its search queries.
And you're going to show us how to participate more.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Because I want to participate more myself.
We all do. It can feel like a ghost town in there sometimes.
Yeah.
But the Google employees are there for sure. So
and it helps you with search results.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. You're seeing this here. You can see the second listing is his Facebook for his business. His third listing is his Google Plus for his business of something that he shared, and then Avo. So the first result website got this whole piece of real estate on the side, which is Google Plus. Now this is a knowledge graph, and that's why it's so important. It takes up so much real estate. And if you aren't doing it, your competitors are, and you're going to miss out on a whole lot of business.
Okay. Now we're going to just kind of start with the basics, and really step one, your Google Plus personal profile. And as Zach mentioned, it's, think of it, similarly to your Facebook profile, where you're there to develop your brand, and it can kind of act as an extension of your business brand. But really, that's your page, that's your space. If you have opinions, if you have family photos, you're connecting with high school friends, this is where you're going to do it. And to access your Google Plus profile, you can do that from any Google account page. So if you just go to google.com, up there in the top right-hand corner, you're going to see, if you're not signed in, you're going to see a plus U. If you are signed in, like you can see there on the bottom right, you'll see plus your name. And so you can easily access your account through those different methods, through Gmail and, again, through Google Plus itself. Okay, so creating your Google Plus profile. We want to start out by adding a profile picture and a cover image. And I've chosen Brian Beckham's here because I think it's a great example of he's really taken an opportunity to show a little bit of his personality and also kind of what he does outside of the office.
And look at that swing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't blame him for wanting to show this off. So
Incredibly handsome man with a great swing.
Okay, Tom. Maybe a little bit of a man crush. But it's a good picture up there. So when you're filling out your profile, there's some specific fields you want to make sure that you're completing. And these are under the About tab. And it's your name, tagline, occupation, current employer, current location, and introduction. And these are not just picked out of a hat. These fields actually create your SEO title and your SEO meta description. So when your profile appears in search results, these are the fields that are going to be showing up alongside that to kind of promote your listing. Okay, and also, as Zach mentioned, your Google Plus profile is really there to help establish authorship and goes along with your author tags, which if you've been using DSS, then I know you've heard about author tags, and even if you haven't, surely you've heard of author tags.
Well, let's assume that we haven't heard of author tags.
Okay.
So tell me what an author tag is again, please.
Well, your author tag actually goes along with a piece of content that you've written, and it creates authority and can help establish credibility to a search result that comes up with your face beside it, especially if someone who's a part of your Google Plus circles, your network there on Google Plus, is going to see that picture and is more likely to click on that result versus one that's just
Doesn't have a picture.
Yeah. Who
And
wrote this?
And this is not confirmed, but you know, Danielle, we were just talking about this at our presentation last week about why is Google adding author tags and connecting it to content? And part of it is what? That we believe that.
Well, they're hoping that by people putting, if you're willing to put your name behind the content that you're writing and attach your name to all that content, there's a greater likelihood that you'll put good quality content out there knowing that you're now accountable for it. So they're hoping this will improve the quality on the web.
And that you will be providing your own content.
Right.
And stand behind your content so it's real.
Exactly. It makes you accountable for the content that you're adding to your website. And we're going to see more kind of ripple effects of this later on in the presentation of more things Google is doing now to kind of take away some of the anonymity out there.
Well, and a lot of it is, that was good. A lot of it is going, you know, undoing a lot of the link scheming techniques that have been going on, where link building or getting links to content was a big chunk of the algorithm that ranked people. And so now that that is gone, how do they, you know, content is one thing, good quality content is one thing, but then how do they establish what other people think about content? And this is where they're attaching actual people instead of linking from websites.
Exactly.
Okay.
And how this all relates back to your profile and really the technical aspect of this, I'll kind of walk you through that. You want to make sure that you have a link to your website under the links portion of your profile under Contributor 2 to associate your Google Plus profile with your author tag. So Zach here, this is from Zach's profile. He has a link there to Foster Web Marketing.
And that's in Google Plus that you set that up in your profile.
That is in Google Plus. And then step 2, you want to add your Google Plus profile URL to your bio page in DSS. So there where under members, you go in there where your bio is located. You'll see this box here, author tag details. You want to fill that out. Most importantly, you want to make sure that Google Plus URL is there leading to your personal profile page. And I suggest everyone go in after this and make sure that it's leading to their personal profile and not their business page.
Yep, your personal bio should link to your personal profile page, your web site
Yes.
Links to social media should be to your business pages.
Yes. This is you. This is
you
establishing you as an author and your credibility, and your face is on the content, not your business logo.
And the author tag details on the left of this screen, that is in DSS under your profile. If you want to go in there and fix that,
Right.
that's where you need to go log in
Definitely.
DSS under your own profile.
Right. And just as a side note, keep in mind that they're thinking about authorship on the Google Plus side. They're not thinking about this individual website. So the picture that they actually pull and put into search results is your Google Plus personal picture, not your picture on your website. So make sure that you're using a high-quality photo on your Google Plus personal account as well.
Not your logo, not your business logo, not your dog, not your kids. It's supposed to be a picture of you.
And not half your face either. Pay attention to what you put out there. It is your brand. You need to focus on every aspect of your brand. Just in that screen you brought up before, and I know we need to get rolling, Zach, where it showed all of those places that Maylove came up on a search. People will go look at all those places right here. Yeah, this is what people will do to you. Even if they do some kind of vanity search, they're going to go look for your name. So go search for your name after this call and see where you're coming up, because this is very important. This is your brand in terms of users researching you. This is your brand. Okay.
Okay, we can go to the next one. Okay. Step 3, adding yourself as the author of a page on your website. And to do this, when you're creating a piece of content, whether it be a blog article, a library article, FAQ, etc., you want to make sure that there's an author assigned to that page and that it's you and your name is up there. And then the second picture you see there is what comes up on that page. So once you've assigned the author, that is the author tag there going on the page. And then in the third image there, beautiful Zach's face showing up beside a piece of content. And I don't know about you, but I want to click on that.
Thank you, Jim Follier, for taking my picture better than most people can.
Yeah, what's with that hair? I haven't seen it really look like that since.
I'm fancy.
Okay, here we go. So now we're moving on to how to find your Google Plus business page. And this is a question we get a lot. Do I have a business page? If I do, how do I find it? Where is it? The big thing there is creating that one unique login that you have access to all of your Google accounts under, which we recommend highly here at Foster Web Marketing, but we know that's not always the case. Okay, accessing an already created page, you want to click on your image in the top right corner, and there you'll see that under Vuk's image, he has access to VB Attorney's Google Plus page, and that's their business page. So he can click right there, and he's looking at that business page. So if you don't have a business page set up, if you're not seeing that come up when you click on your image there in the top right corner, it's telling you need to create a business page. And to do that, you're just going to click on the home button, and this is all in Google Plus. You want to click on the home button in the top left corner, select pages from the drop-down, click the create a page button, and then you want to select your type of business, which is a local business. And I've put a big red circle right there around the box that you'd want to select. And entering your business information, you want to make sure that you're using the exact same NAP information, which is business name, address, and phone number, as you do on your firm's website or your business's website there.
That is very, very important. That it is exactly the same.
Key.
Yes. The name of your firm, the address, specifically the phone number, all that needs to match across all of these things.
And also selecting the most appropriate category for your business is huge. Even more so when it comes to local, which Zach will talk about some more. But it's same high priority here when you're creating your business page. You want to be as specific as possible, and keep in mind that your primary category is going to appear under your business name when people are searching for your business in Google+. So here we have some examples where for the primary category we've chosen personal injury attorney, and for a secondary category we have trial attorney. I believe you can add up to 9 categories here, but there's really, I can't think of a situation where you would have 9 categories that you would want to add. We really try to stay away from the generic attorney, lawyer, unless you do more general aspects of the law, or, you know, of course if you're not a lawyer. But to find those categories, the easiest way is just to type in, you know, start typing attorney, start typing in law, you're going to see the categories come up that you're most likely going to want to choose from.
Yeah, the categories are a little limited, so
Definitely.
if you fall into a category that isn't exactly anything that you're finding, attorney would be, that's the only time I would really think that you'd really only want to put attorney. And if you search for attorney or if you search for lawyer, all these listings are going to show up for attorney. They use attorney in Google Plus for their categories, not lawyer. So just know that. And do not create categories. Don't put personal injury attorney and then personal injury lawyer and then PI lawyer. Those aren't.
Don't try to spam.
They are going to get you for that, and you'll wonder why your local listing fell out of search results, and it's because they knew what you're trying to do.
Just put in there what you do. Plain and simple. Don't try to trick.
Okay, number 3, provide a business description using targeted terms. Don't overdo it with keywords. Don't keep stuffing in keywords in there, accident, injury, whatever you may be adding. And make sure you have some location details in there as well. And my biggest pet peeve is when I pull up a business page or a local page and there are either no business hours entered or their business hours are wrong. And I can't even tell you how much time I wasted just this past weekend because people were not filling out their local profiles correctly. So enter your business hours. It's becoming one of my biggest pet peeves.
That's just a simple thing to do that can make a big difference for you out there. And a lot of this is just little details that you just need to go fix.
Mm-hmm.
And not just about Google, but just like Laura had a horrible experience with this. If your first interaction with a client is someone who's trying to show up your office at 6 and you close at 5, that is a bad way to start off a relationship, and you're going to have an uphill battle the rest of the way trying to meet the needs and make that client happy. Don't start off on the wrong foot. Give them the correct information. Be consistent. Don't piss them off before you've even gotten face-to-face with them.
Mm-hmm. And as we're telling you this, keep in mind that if someone else is working on your Google Plus listings and profiles, make sure that you're sharing this information with them so that they have that. And again, for the business page, we want to put a cover image up there and also a profile picture, which should be your business logo. Okay, so verifying your business page. And this is kind of how Google Plus connects your website to your business page. It gives not only your business page more authority, but it's going to help your website in Google's eyes as well. So you can click Verify Business under your Edit Business Information button. And Google prefers verified pages over unverified pages in their search results. So keep that in mind. If you're not seeing this gray check beside your logo or beside your current profile picture on your business page, make sure you go in there and verify your business. It's a quick, easy step that can really help you out.
That's a big little quick easy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. We love a great check mark.
And like we were saying before, Google Plus personal photo. Google Plus business, that's your business. That's your branding. Some people choose to brand themselves, their names, their faces. That's their branding. That's fine, but be consistent in whatever you're doing. Making sure that you're being consistent with your branding is very important in Google Plus's eyes.
Well, what's some good examples, like their logo, the picture of the building,
Yeah,
or
so
the picture of their staff?
usually I would prefer a logo as the main profile picture, and I'll talk about how you can distinguish that in a little bit. but then also pictures of the attorneys who are going to be client-facing. Anyone that's client-facing is a really good photo to put up there.
What if it's a law firm or school?
Going with the business and the facade of the building so that when they get there, when they get to that address, they can easily tell, oh, that's the building I saw in the profile when I went to look for directions. You're helping them out. It might seem like a little thing, but it really is important. So now we're going to talk about Google Plus Local, which is the thing that people probably have the most issues with, including Google employees. They don't always even know what's going on themselves, and they literally just made an update on this week. Earlier this week, the whole layout of Google Plus Local is different. It's something that the employees, when you call into the help center, don't even fully understand yet. So making sure that you can tell the difference is really important. So to find your Google Plus Local profile, the easiest way to find what's out there already is to go to Google Maps, maps.google.com. Search for your brand name plus city and state, and then try a couple variations of that. It might be that your brand name isn't the right brand name in the local listing because somewhere across the web someone referred to you differently. So check a couple different variations to make sure that you're finding any listings, because we don't want to create duplicate listings. That's a no-no. As you can see here, Robert Maylove, his listing shows up. If you click on the name of the firm or the business and then click More Info, when it shows up, that pop-up shows on the map, that will bring you to your Google Plus Local page. And this is what they look like now. So basically, in this screenshot, A is where your business name, basic information including address, phone number, website, and main categories and hours are going to show up. It's the basic information. The location called B, which is green, is going to give you more contact information, including all the categories and a description of your business. And this is where you really want to make sure that you're not stuffing keywords, putting locations that you don't actually serve, and it needs to read well. Don't just put a bunch of keywords in there so that you think that you're going to show up for search results. You need to make sure that you are describing what you do and where you serve in a succinct, quality way.
Because your users are actually going to this page. Just because you don't yourself use this, that does not mean that people don't use it.
Right.
Your analytics will prove that you get a ton of traffic going to these pages. And so if you try to make this spammy, it's going to send them away. So you want to make it, it's really your storefront, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your online storefront right here.
Definitely, for sure. And the C is your review summary. If you have reviews, this is where they're going to show up. We'll talk about reviews and why they're important in a second. D, photos. You want to have a bunch of really high-quality photos of your office and those kind of things. Some of these photos on Mr. Dotson's profile, I've been in the process of updating, because you don't want to necessarily have just a bunch of car accident crashes. That's not what you're doing. That's not what you're doing. That's something that might happen to someone, and then they're going to come to you. So focus on your brand, the people in your office location, any other unique photos that you can post there.
Happy clients.
Happy clients.
Your doctor's office, pictures of the doctors, pictures of the staff.
The waiting room, those kind of things.
Always good to still a familiarity or recognize someone when they're walking into, it's probably not the most comfortable situation that they're in anyway, so that's always helpful to see a familiar face.
And one thing that people always are confused about is, am I looking at a Google Plus business page, am I looking at am I looking at a Google Plus local page? If you look at the tabs at F, they are about and photos. There's nothing that says posts, and there's also a review section when you click on about. So if you're seeing reviews, you know you have a local listing. If you see posts and no reviews, then you have a Google Plus business page. If you see both, you've a merged Google Plus local and a Google Plus business page. It's really confusing at first, but once you have an eye for it, you can really start to get it, because if you think about it like this, Google Plus Business is a social part of your business. Google Plus Local is a way for people to find out information and to share information for others to review you and your business and make sure that you're providing good quality services. So one is focused on what people are saying about your business, and the other one's focused on what your business is saying to everyone else.
Got it.
Make sense?
Yes, that was very good, Zach. And what about this merged one?
Okay, so Google is in the process of merging a lot of listings. We'll get into creating your local page here in a second, but they're in the process of merging listings, and I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, but there have been a ton of bugs, issues. I've actually,
hang tight on that.
Yeah, we'll hang tight on describing it specifically, but this week alone I've called into Google's support center 4 times for 4 different accounts, and they have had to submit my clients to the engineers for bugs with the quote-unquote bugs with the account, even though they didn't really understand what was going on because there's a whole interface, and they are just very confused over there at Google local support center right now. Because
that's bad when Google itself is confused about its own self.
Yeah,
Right.
It's a free service.
I can relate.
You got to think about that. It's a free service. It's very important for businesses, but it's a free service that they're giving. It's not like AdWords where if your ads aren't showing, they're going to have someone do that and start showing them because they need to make money off of you. This is a free service they're providing, so they don't have the best. They're not paying the best technical support people. They're not. They take a lot longer to make updates and those kind of things, so just keep that in mind. So I'm just going to go through the basic steps of creating and claiming your local page. You want to log in to your Google profile by going to the accounts login, like we referenced before. Going to this link that will take you to adding a local business. You're going to type in your business and see if your business is showing. If it's not showing within the results, you just say no. These are not my businesses. If there are multiple listings, choose the listing with the most robust amount of information. If you have a review on one of them, but some other one does not, choose the one with the review. Usually is the best way to go. And then you're going to want to remove duplicates later, and I'll tell you how to do that as well. And once you've done this, they're going to ask you to verify by phone or postcard. You can continue through to edit your information before you do this verification, but in my experience, a lot of times you'll either lose the ability to verify by postcard or by phone, depending if you have to update those things. So I recommend verify it by phone first. It's instant. You're going to get a phone call from Google. They're going to give you a PIN. You enter the PIN. Easy as cake. If you verify by postcard, it's going to be 2-3 weeks sometimes, and it gets lost in the mail really easily. It looks like junk, basically, to a lot of people. And if your receptionist isn't aware that it's coming or someone else, it gets lost in the mail. You could be waiting a whole month before you realize, oh, I didn't get that postcard, and then you've missed out on verifying that business for a whole month. If you do have issues verifying, you can go to this support link, and basically what it is they'll walk you through the different steps. If you do scroll to the bottom, you can click Call Us to speak directly to a Google rep. Like I said, these guys aren't 100% familiar with the product yet. I actually had to be on the call for 10 minutes explaining to one of them why the listings weren't right, and she went and got a second pair of eyes on him, and she realized that it wasn't, but her initial reaction that it was okay and it was the right listing. But just make sure that when you're calling, you understand that they might not be 100% familiar with the product all the time because it's so new. So once you've done this, once you've verified, you're going to be able to edit the existing information and add new information. You can see here, this is Places for Business. This is a dashboard for the Francis Law Group. You can see that little gray check. That's what we want to see. And you can see the blue arrows pointing to where you edit information.
Check? Oh, right next to the Francis Law Group there above the picture. I see that little gray check.
So when you're editing your business, you want to be consistent. We'll talk about this. Consistency is king. You really need to be as consistent as possible, both on Google Plus Local, your website, and any other external local citation websites that reference your business. You want to make sure that the map pin is in the right location. A lot of times you'll see it in a little off to the side or even on the wrong street. Google Maps is not perfect. I know you might see those Google cars driving around every once in a while, taking pictures of roads and those kind of things, but sometimes they run into issues. If you find an issue with the map where the address is, or if you're unable to input your address, submit that issue to Google Mapmaker, and the link's right there. You also want to use your local phone number first. You can include a toll-free number, but using a local phone number is actually an indicator to Google that you actually serve that local area, and it helps with your rankings if you have a local number. If you're using a toll-free only number, you're not going to get that benefit from Google that says that you are a local business because you do not have that local phone number. Include your website, obviously. Email, you want to make sure this is an email that's monitored constantly and is something that when people email, you're going to be able to, when potential clients email you, you're going to be able to respond in a quick and good way. This doesn't have to be your Gmail or anything associated with the account. This is for your business. So make sure you're using an email that's going to get looked at regularly. If you have a fax, do note that. Just don't put phone number again. And those are the kind of things that you really want to avoid doing. Here is the bottom part of the section. I had to cut this in two because the edit screen is so big. But you can see here, categories. You want, Laura talked about this earlier. This is a bad example because lawyer is first and then personal injury second. If you're going to put lawyer, that's fine, but we really want to be specific. So I've actually adjusted this so it just says personal injury lawyer or attorney, and it doesn't actually say lawyer. When the account was first created, it said lawyer, and then personal injury was added instead of replacing. So you want to make sure you're consistent with that. Good quality photos on here. Here's a good example of someone who, Tony Francis has done a good job of branding himself, his face, his image. You can see a picture of him talking on a news outlet. You can also see a picture of his free book. Do not flood your local listings with a free book pictures. That's not going to look like a quality listing to a lot of people. And your description should just describe what you do, where you serve, and the type of services you provide. There's guidelines that they'll give you so that you aren't sounding too markety. You need to really focus on your services and your product and not trying to sell people within your description. Do not write all caps free information if you go to this website or whatever it might be. That's not what they want. That's not a quality description of your business. That's you trying to sell something and get a contact. It's not what this listing is meant for. This is meant to provide good quality information to users looking for a lawyer.
Not being marketed-y.
Yeah, that's my new word.
Don't be marketed-y.
That's my new word that I created.
It made Mike cringe,
We'll always
visibly cringe.
Yeah, nope, I saw it, Mike, and I'm okay with it.
You rebel.
So, talking about merging a listing. Unfortunately, there are a ton of bugs with the system right now, and it can be a huge pain. We are currently, and a lot of SEO experts and a few Google employees, when you talk to them, are not recommending merging these listings now. If you've never had a local listing or a business listing before, you can create that really good listing, but if you have two separate ones, if they're in two separate accounts, don't try to unclaim one, claim in another account, and try to merge them together. I wouldn't even try at this point to merge them within the same account because there have been so many issues. It's such a new thing that they've been doing, and they just changed the whole background of it, and it's created a lot of issues, and people have been having a lot of problems and freaking out on a lot of different forums.
So just be patient while they work through it. It's not going to go away.
right, and they're going to figure out ways to make it better and for it to make more sense for your specific business. As things Zach mentioned, if you have multiple locations and then you only have one business page, they're actually working on Google Plus branding. So there's more things to come there that will make this a much more seamless process.
And, you know, be patient with Google as it works through this. They are trying to get customers to your business. That's what they're trying to do. And so it is in your best interest to work with them. Be patient while this process works through. They're trying to stop all the cheating that's been happening. And so in the end, it's going to benefit you to be patient to the process.
Yeah, and also, like Laura said, there is talks of Google Plus branding, which would be a little different because if you think about it, you can only have a Google Plus business page merged with one local page. So if you have multiple offices, that's probably not the best way you want to do it. A brand where it would be connected to everything would be the best thing, and that could be coming. Be patient. These things don't happen overnight, although they do, and they sometimes surprise everyone. So who knows? Next week we could have Google Plus brand. But yeah, just keep that in mind. And we'll do another webinar. Yeah. So a lot of people ask me every day, why am I not ranking for this keyword? I do good content. I have been doing it for a long time. I have a local listing I filled out completely. And these guys, they have horrible websites, and they're not doing what I'm doing with content. My content's high quality. You can't focus on one thing or even just a couple things. There are over 200 indicators for Google's algorithm talking about both search results organically for your website and for your local listings. So these are the main overall ranking factors that people in the industry consider for local search results. They include your on-page effort, so the content that you're writing on your website, how the content's written, how well it's written, social signals on Google+, and Facebook and Twitter and those kind of outlets, along with reviews. Reviews are really, really important. People are searching for you, and they want to know who you are and what you do and the services you provide and what other people are saying about you. I think, Laura, you came back from PubCon, and someone had used the example that 10 years ago people were going to 6 car dealerships before they made a purchase for a car, and now they're going to 1.2.
Right.
Because people are looking online. They're doing the research before they go to the businesses. It's not like what it used to be. You need to make sure that what people are saying about you online is consistent with what you're doing and the services you provide. So don't focus on one thing or another thing. You need to do everything. There's link signals, on-page efforts, external location signals. If you're in Fort Lauderdale, you're not going to rank for Miami local results for that kind of thing. You're not there. You can't trick Google into thinking you're there. You're just not there. That's not your business.
And remember, though, I mean, like a lot of you guys that have been on the Internet for a while, remember the frustration of other people in other markets creeping into your territory and then referring cases to you. So guys would come from Miami down into Fort Lauderdale, and they still try to do that, of course. But Google, this is a big part of it, is Google putting a stop to that kind of activity.
Yeah, they want to make sure that you have a client-facing office. Sometimes people get away with it. They figure ways around it, or they got lucky, or whatever it might be, and they might have it. It's probably going to get removed over time, and I know that's not the answer you want.
And don't go copy them.
Yeah, don't copy them. You don't want to set yourself up for failure. Organic search is a long-term strategy, online marketing strategy. If you want the short, quick caffeine burst, go do a ton of PPC. Don't worry about this stuff. It's going to cost you a hell of a lot more. And when you stop doing it, you're going to have nothing. If you are doing the right things with organic search and you're playing by the rules and you're making sure that you're doing everything the right way over time, there are going to be ups and downs possibly, but the overall effort is going to pay off in the long run, and you're going to see a much better results than paying $50, $60, $70 for a single keyword. So keep those things in mind. It's not all a couple ranking factors. It's so much more than that. Please don't focus on the wrong things.
Okay, now this may seem like we're jumping topics a little bit, but I feel like it's really important that we bring up YouTube right now, especially with the recent, even bigger integration between Google Plus and YouTube. And I want to let you know how do they relate and what it means to you. So you can't have a YouTube account without having a Google Plus account associated with it. You may have signed up for a YouTube account and don't even realize that you have a Google Plus account just sitting out there. Now, these are all important things that we want you to keep in mind when you're going out there to create new listings and maybe sign up for Google Plus and start creating your profile. You might already have one out there that you need to start there and keep everything under one roof. And if you have a YouTube account but you don't have a Gmail account, you're able to create a Google account using the email address that you used for YouTube, and you can sign up for your Google account at accounts.google.com. And you can see here, I've taken a screenshot. You can use either your Gmail email account or prefer to use your current email address, whether that be associated with your website, Yahoo, I might even say Hotmail, who knows. You're able to do that though. And as Danielle was mentioning earlier regarding author tags and associating your author tag with content, boosting authority and your credibility. Well, now comments in YouTube are now associated with your Google Plus profile name, and that's to increase accountability for comments and to reduce the spam and inappropriate commenting. And already we've seen some examples online that people will be embarrassed of what they've commented on YouTube. So just keep that in mind, that being genuine and credible and nice and respectful, all good things. So, and now it's just one more way for people to find your Google Plus profile there on YouTube. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. We've included some links here for some resources that you can refer to. The first one is great, so I'm not going to go through all of these, but
we're going to send this out to everybody.
Yep.
So don't panic. That was a lot of information.
We also have a Google Plus guide book, if you will, that basically goes through a little bit more details of how to claim and verify these things, and there's a lot of screenshots that we didn't include here. It's a little bit more robust, so you'll be getting that as well at some point.
What do we got for questions there, Michael?
All right, well, there were a lot of great questions that have been asked throughout the presentation, and the first one, of course, comes from Steve Richardson, who asks, how do personal and businesses distinguish themselves for the solo practitioner? The firm is the person, and vice versa.
Well, as I mentioned, your personal page is there for you like your Facebook profile. And if you only think of yourself as your business, well, how do your high school friends think of you? You do have that other side, that other entity where you have your family and your friends. Use that. Think of that as your Google Plus personal profile. That's where you're connecting with these people. And your business page is where you're connecting to your past clients, your future clients, and other people in the industry, and your vendors, and all of us out there, and showing us how smart you are and what you know.
That's a great question, a great answer, and I mean, it's no different than Tom Foster at Foster Web Marketing, Steve. So if you look at how we do things on Foster Web Marketing, the business page, we're talking generally about the business of marketing. And so on your business page, you would just talk about the law and the specifics of the law. It's really more of a pulpit that you would speak from about specifics having to do with whether you're a lawyer or a doctor or whatever you do. And then your own personal page is your opinion about stuff, what you wore that day, or if it's what socks you had on, all the goofy stuff that you do, and it's really talking with your colleagues and your peers on that level.
The other nice thing about Google Plus Personal is you have circles. So if you want to take your group of friends and put them in your friend circle, take your group of fellow lawyers and put them in another, and then clients, potential clients, under your personal account. And if you want to share some of the stuff that you've written and you might have a bigger following or whatever it might be, you can separate those things. The people that you share, when you share your lawyer friends, the people that are potential clients are not going to see that in their newsfeed. Google gives you more of an ability to directly publish content to specific groups of people so that you're not talking to the world, you're talking to groups.
They learned what to do after Facebook, years and years of trying to do it, even though they're still trying to perfect it. What's the next question?
Next question is from Rick Angel, who asks, should reviews be solicited for personal or your business profile?
So this is a little hard because your business profile is your business, and that's what you want people to be reviewing. Google actually has created some local listings for the attorney themselves because they're client-facing. Let's say you go to a hospital. You might have a horrific experience at the hospital. You were waiting in line for 4 hours. The receptionist was very rude to you, and you had an overall bad experience. If you were to go and review them, you'd probably give them a 0. But when you finally did make it to your doctor, he was helpful, gave you the right information you needed, and also gave you everything that you wanted to move forward with your problem. So they want to give the ability to review those separately, but I would focus on trying to get it for your business. Your business is what is going to draw the most reviews. Make sure that people are talking about your business, and that's the one that's going to show up more often in search results for the majority of people.
Yeah, and if you're, and that's a great example, Zach. If you're like part of a big giant entity, your strategy is different from marketing completely. But for most of the people that are attending this call, they are small firms or small practices that don't have that big entity. So it's really about your brand, which is you. So it's the law offices of Steve Richardson or Steve Richardson. Either way, it's that. Right, and because he's that guy, you know, it's like a review to Foster Web Marketing. It's not a review to Tom Foster. It's a review to the business itself.
If you have the choice between someone giving you a review on your Avo profile versus someone giving you a review on Google+, send them to Google+ pretty much every time. Not every time, of course you want.
Well, you want them to go where they want to do.
Diversification, right, but you want your business to be that main focus.
Thank you.
And your Avo rating isn't factored in with client reviews.
Yes.
All right, and the next question is actually from Charlotte Foster.
Good job, Char.
Who is asking, the authorship tab makes sense for attorneys, but how do you handle the author pages for a school or business where you don't necessarily want a person as the author?
Oh.
I'll answer it.
Well, let's see what...
Go ahead, Laura. Go ahead, Laura.
Well, I'm just thinking, for a school, I mean, what about the principal?
Headmaster. Well, it's whoever wrote it. I mean, so I think that the teachers should have authorship. So, for instance, the way that I would categorize it, if you're asking what you are, is that if you're doing English content, then have the English department head be the authorship.
Good point.
If you're doing math content, have the math department head be the author. If you're talking about the administration or the history of the school or policy, then that should be the headmaster or the assistant headmaster. So that's how I would categorize those. Danielle?
And remember that no matter what business you are, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, or a school, businesses are made up of people. And you're going to get clients to come to you, and you have clients who are happy with you because of the great, knowledgeable subject matter experts and the people working for your business. This is your opportunity to showcase them and showcase their expertise. Don't just think of your brand. Think of the people who work for you as part of your brand and giving them a chance to have a voice and show their passion and show their knowledge. That's going to help you get more clients.
Authorship is a great thing, and we see this as a great beginning, you know, and I think Google's onto something here because it really gives credibility, real credibility to people and individuals, and it makes everyone a published author, which is really cool. And so those that take advantage of authorship sooner rather than later are going to be, you know, reaping the rewards down the road.
And it's not even, so it has no ranking factor at this point. It could in the future, but it definitely helps with click-through rates. You have an image in the screen, and the 3 other listings next to you have nothing. It's more enticing to click on an image. If you have a video thumbnail, it might be even more enticing because it's a bigger picture. But you definitely want to make sure that you're including that because it can help with people getting to your website from search engine.
Oh, another real quick thing about author tags, you don't want to go switch authors on content all the time that is like, you know, you can't have Stephen King write a book and then Dean Koontz write a book, or the same book. You can't switch them back and forth. So once you're an author, keep it that way unless something crazy happens. If you have people leave the firm or whatever, you know, transferring authorship might be okay, but, you know, don't try to do that constantly. What's the next one, Mike?
The next one is from Carol Cadiz, who asked, if we use DSS and the author page is correctly set up, does all of our content automatically show up with an author tag, or do we have to manually do something every time something is posted?
You have to manually assign an author to that individual piece of content.
Yeah, Carol, that's actually something we can do for you. If you want your author tag to be applied to all the content on your site, just open a ticket in DSS and we'll do it for you. And also there is the author tag settings in DSS where you can select a default author. So every time you add a piece of content, your default author tag will show up, so you don't have to remember to add it. And that's something you can do yourself. And if you're not sure where to find that, just go ahead and open a ticket or give the customer service folks a call and they'll help you out.
The next question, and this has occurred a couple of times, does Google Plus differentiate between the term attorney and lawyer?
So in the category section of Google Plus Business, you are choosing, they only show attorney. With the Hummingbird algorithm, they're looking more at semantic search. So although I'm not sure 100% if they determine them to be the same, when you search for those things and you hit it and you change the word around, you're going to get different results the majority of the time. But they do know that one is related to the other and that they're synonyms.
But the answer, though, is don't use both of them. Like, try to SEO with both of those together in sentences and stuff like that. You can use them in different paragraphs to describe yourself, but don't try to, like, stick it in a page title, you know, attorney and lawyer.
Right, yeah, don't put both in the
Right.
page title like that. If you reference yourself in the beginning, or reference attorney in the beginning of the content, and at the end you say lawyer, I mean, that's not,
Right.
that's fine, but
I mean, that's like doctor, medical provider, you know, teacher, educator. I mean, like, they're just different things, but Google does have a way of figuring that out on search. All right, what's the next one?
All right, the next question is from Leanna Torres, who asked, if you have multiple offices, yet only one is an actual brick and mortar and the others are Regis suites, appointments only, can you have multiple local pages for each office, or is this asking for trouble?
Great question.
Okay, so you have how many brick and mortar? One brick and mortar? Yeah, well, how many other people have that Regis office? We recommend you stick with your brick and mortar, but we also understand that a lot of people have those Regis offices out there. But just keep in mind, you're not like pulling the wool over anybody's eyes with that. You're most likely not the only one with that exact address and possibly even the exact same suite number. And if you're trying to rank first for that Regis office location, good luck.
I mean, well, it's really, go ahead, Danielle.
We've had issues with clients who have shared office spaces like that, and they say that the other person sharing the office consistently shows up in the listings. They never show up. There are issues like that. And our understanding is that the purpose of a Google Plus local listing is for you to list your business location where a person is there to accept clients or visitors, and somebody there is answering the phone with your business name. If that's not happening, you don't have a real office. So don't try to create local listings for those people.
Yeah, I mean, and this is,
Drive there.
yeah, I mean, like, you got to look at it like this. I mean, Google's trying to make it fair, really, for everybody. And so if you're opening up 5 Regis offices and not investing in them, then Google's going to recognize that. I mean, you're not the only one there doing that. You know, there could be 10 attorneys, practicing competitively that are all trying to vie for the same thing. And so, but the one that actually invests in a brick and mortar in that location will win, because that's what Google wants you to do. And so you're going to get what you give. So if you don't invest a lot in your property or in your location, then don't expect a lot from it in terms of Google Local and all that. I think that's pretty much wraps that up. I recommend, you know, you've got to look at it. You got a budget, you got your resources, you got to grow how you got to grow. But if you can have your own unique address and have someone staff it, that's the best way to go. Is that it? That's the last of the questions. Did you need to clarify that, Zach? The attorney and lawyer, you guys okay? All right. Okay, guys, well, that is it for our November 19th, 2013 webinar. I hope that that was helpful to everyone. We will be sending the information out, the PowerPoint presentation, along with the cheat sheet that the gang put together for us. When we're done, we got a quick little survey for you guys to fill out. That would be very helpful. If you could do that. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask us. If you're stuck, if you're confused, if you're a client of ours and you're stuck in DSS, you don't know where to go, as Danielle said, just fill out a ticket. We're here to help you. Don't get frustrated. It's difficult, it's frustrating, but we are here to help you. Okay, so don't pull your hair out too much. Okay, everybody, that's it. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Laura, Danielle, Mike, everybody that participated. Thank you to all of you that joined us on the call. Have a great Tuesday. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next month.